Okay, I should be streaming. Oh, my microphone's all the way over there. Aha, it's closer. All right. Here we are. Inkscape. I love Inkscape. Unfortunately, because I'm on Inkscape, I don't have enough room, like, on my screen for the chat. So I'm going to pull it up on my phone. But that's... Hold on. There we go. Okay. This way I can see what people are saying. Oh yeah, we got some people. Nice. Welcome. Now here you can all see how the magic is made. Now I'm going to, by hand, with a trackpad, draw this, but facing the opposite direction. That's my goal here, kinda. And who knows, maybe some of y'all will like it. But maybe this is boring. I don't know. I usually like watching people draw. It kind of comes around here like that. Oh no, that's way too much. Did you see that? Oh no. Well, good thing it's vectors so I can fix it really easily. Yeah. ASMR? Okay, it's time for ASMR. No, I'm not gonna do ASMR. I mean, like, if this is just ASMR to you, then that's fine. I have no qualms with that. Mm. So, cause I want this one to be facing the opposite direction, I kind of want to move this there, and that makes it seem like it's facing more the opposite direction already. But we can make it even better by moving this a little bit that way. And by tilting this one up and making this one a little longer and down. Yeah. Oh, I actually do kind of want to make a video about Tokipona fonts and like why there are so many of them. But I don't want it to be about my fonts because I don't really do fonts anymore. It's been kind of years since I've done fonts. Is that too big? I guess we'll find out. Uh, okay, yeah, that's too big. Let's cap it there. Mm, let's see. Well, okay, I think this part should be a little bigger. Mm, no, that was a mistake. This is much better. I do want this to be a tiny bit bigger though, so make it just a wee. So a little bigger. And then make sure it's facing this way. I think for that, I'll tilt it a little bit. Uh, yeah. And then can't forget the quote-unquote eyebrows. Some people see these as as eyes themselves. I have not been able to see them that way. They look like eyebrows to me. You can barely hear me? Let me check my levels. Oh, they are kind of low. Let me bring my microphone closer and also turn up the gain. And that should be better. Is that better? Can you hear me better? Is this better? Maybe something in settings? Input, if I turn this up, then maybe it's louder? Or maybe that, no, that's output volume. No way that would work. Yeah, right? That's just the output volume. Well, can other people not hear me well? Because, like, what's going on? It says I'm clipping the mic constantly, so it might be on your end. Now I'm not clipping. Oh, I'm still clipping the mic. Like, come on. I don't know why. Advanced audio properties? Properties? It's all the way up. Maybe it's a YouTube thing. Okay, anyway. I'm gonna get back to drawing my guy. I'm starting to think that these might be a little bit too far down, both of them. So I'm gonna move them up a little bit to kind of give me that like shorter vibe, you know? Because offline I'm pretty short. Did you know that? I'm like 4'2". Not actually. Let's actually line these up and see how we're doing. Okay, I'm very happy with that. But now that they're lined up, we should make sure that they're actually lined up. What I do here is I kind of mix this side and this side together to make it like still feel like this is my right side, but it's doing what this arm is doing, you know? So it's gonna go down here, and then it's gonna go up a little bit. And then this arm is gonna kind of come out here. And it's gonna go over here. This one over here is one of the ones that Wasomu designed, so I didn't design this one, but I am designing this one based off of that one. This part's important because it kind of covers up the tie. So that would go like that almost. Yeah. And now that I can see the whole thing, I can zoom out a little bit and be like, wow, that's jank. Let's fix it up because it's vectors. It's pretty easy. That should be more like that. And this should be, that should be more like that. Um, okay, but now it looks like this is kind of the edge of the arm. And that's not necessarily what I'm going for. So I think I would have to go more like this. And then like that. This part is not as pointy as it is in the other one. So maybe this is going a little bit too far, and it should be more like that. Another interesting idea is covering obsolete Tokipono words. Well, I was making one of my ideas was to interview a bunch of the Yans about like really old Tokipono words. Kind of, not really old, but like pretty old Tokipono words, you know? A lot to learn from them. So this is like, these kind of come in at like a point, and then this feels like it's overflowing off of it. So I could do that by doing like this. Oops. I love Command Z. Best command. Well, then this would have to come up so it could be like more symmetrical. But then this one, well, the bump would have to be less intense. Mm. And I would kind of want this one to come under. You know what? I figured something out. I don't actually need that part of the arm. I can just do like that. And then this can come all the way over here. Now that looks a little weird. If we put it like that and we overlay them. Aha. Okay, I think I get the issue. This part should be like this part is right under there. And this part's right under there. This part's right under there. This part's not right under there. This part is way too long. So we're going to move this over. And then we're going to move this over. But we're going to move this part back over here. And it already looks way better. See how much futzing I have to do for my OC? I'm not like an art person, really. I'm like kind of an art person. Like there are types of art that I know how to do, but I don't necessarily do a lot of it. The only reason I'm good at vectors is because I spent like hours and hours and hours and like genuinely thousands of hours of my time just futzing with vectors for Tokipona fonts like way back in the day. Not way back in the day. I'm like relatively new to the Tokipona community if you really think about it. Well, it has been like almost 6 years since I joined the community proper. Mm. The thing I love about vectors is that they're so forgiving. You don't need to know where the line is right away. You can kind of figure it out as you go along. Mm. When I zoom out, I realize that first of all, this part needs to be rotated like that. Second of all, this needs to be more like there. And then if I put this back in, it's much better. But this is way too low down, actually. So this should come back up here, kind of, but still kind of more in, I want to say. And then this can also come back more in and kind of be a little bit more up. And then this one, I think, can be more that way. And then we need an extra little line over this way for the bottom. And then over here, those lines. And then the little tie, of course. Well, let's go like that. and then up. And then on the other side, kind of let these lines really come out into their own. This should go more up there. And like these two maybe should be more like over here. That's good. What are my thoughts right now? Well, I think it works, but it's a little wonky. And I think it could be less wonky if this arm was a little bigger. Like that. Like that. And then a little bit like that. And then these would come down here a little bit. Well, they'd stay there, but they'd have to come down like this. Mm. And this can be more like that, I think. That's pretty good. Okay. So let's take them, put them like this, and then let's change up the eyebrows so I can have eyebrowed versions. Don't forget to save compulsively and obsessively. First, let's actually make these eyebrows angry here. When I was editing my videos, I kind of realized that I had to put stuff to the left of my character, and I wanted to be able to put stuff to the right, and then also it would kind of flesh out the expressions that I have access to. So I decided to make these versions. Welcome. Let's see what's on the to-do list. Do I want to do the sigh facing the other direction? Maybe I don't. I think I'll just do ponder, honestly. I really like starting with the head. It like makes me feel grounded, but that doesn't make any sense because it's the head. It's the highest part. Okay. This is giving very lopsided and also facing to the left. So if I want it to be facing to the right, it's got to be more like this. Oh, that looks mushy. Although the way to make it less mushy would be to do that kind of. And then bring these in. Bring that one in. That's why it looks mushy. Oh, come on. Okay. And bring this down a little. I love doing art. Sometimes the lines talk to me and they're like, hey, you should put me over here instead. And I'm like, that's actually a really good idea. And then I do it. But sometimes they're kind of quiet. And it's like, okay. Whoops. The thing with these heads is that if you just have the two lines, then it looks like the hood is way too far down. Oh, this should be longer. And then also it should be down a little, I think. And wider. This should be wider. Like that should be over there. Should be like that. And that should be in the middle. And then this whole thing needs to feel like it's facing this direction, which means turning it a little bit. Little tiny little itty bitty things. And if that's where the top of the head is, then I'm happy with that for the time being. And then also an eyebrow. Why not add the eyebrow now? I like keeping the eyebrows on the same side because I want all of the guys that are facing the opposite direction, I want all of these to be completely redrawn versions so that I can switch back and forth between them without it seeming like I applied a mirror effect if I ever want to. Which is why I'm kind of relying on the little human imperfections here, kind of. Oh, why is it filled now? No. Well, how far is it really? This should probably be up a little bit more. A little bit. A little bit more in, because the line coming down is kind of like this, I want to say. And this is kind of approaching that center line. So this whole thing should be down a little bit though. And this is going to get one of those little lines. Come out here. Do one of these. It looks kind of empty so far. That's because I haven't really gotten that arm in there yet. On the other side, this one looks pretty simple. It's like that long. It's not very curved at all. And then this one is super curved and it goes to right under it. it goes like that. And actually, if we take that and we overlap it, it's pretty damn close. Unfortunately, I haven't really cut out that much room for myself, so I think I'll have to make this one a little longer and higher. Then this part of the arm will have to come out and go down here and all the way up here. And I'm gonna have to futz a lot with this. Like, I'm already thinking that this is gonna be like way too thin. And then that's gonna have to be like that. It kind of looks like I'm stroking with a mixture of my left arm and my right arm because of the orientation. This is too small at the top and it kind of goes out. I want it to do the opposite. I want it to be widest here. And I want it to kind of go in. So this should be a little less curved, and this should come down to meet it. Another thing is that the elbow is all the way down here. I want the elbow to be where it is over here. So like this should be where the elbow is. But if I want the elbow to be pointier, I should make these smaller. So see, it's already looking better. Bring down like that. Another thing that I think can help is that this looks lopsided. So if I make this like more like that, like this, then I can make one of these come out. And then all I need to do is the tie, which is probably just like this. I don't like how flat that seems, so I'm gonna tilt it. Much more dynamic. Perfect. Exactly what I wanted. Okay. Bring that around a little. Yeah, alright. Missing anything? Well, yes. One thing. That line goes there, but we need another one coming down this way. And just so that I'm kind of following in my thing where I'm trying to make them all different, I will let this side of the tie come through over here. Like there. And let's make this honestly a little more like that. Do I like that more? I think I do kind of like that more. If I really want that elbow to pop, I'm gotta do like this. Really get that elbow to pop. And then I can make this go in like that. And then the line here, I want it to come a little to the side of the elbow, not actually at the elbow. Because this arm is overlapping with, but this one is coming up and over, so this can be a little bit more to the side. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay, let's make all the different versions. I had how many versions? One, two, three, four, five, six. Okay, let's make all three. One, two, three, four, five, six. And that one's teehee. So let's give him ecstatic eyebrows. Is that how they were? How are they over here? Oh, they were way farther down. This one's more like the gay surprise one. And that's pretty tee hee 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 hee. The next one is is gay surprise. Okay. So if you've ever seen a gay person, their eyebrows are always like really high up. So that's why gay surprise has really high up eyebrows. It's from real life. Also, I kind of want them to be curved like this, but it's a little tricky with the angle. But I think I'm getting it to work. Happy with that. Let's grab you. Turn. Good. Okay. This is the base one. In very fashion. This one's angry. Do I have just an angry one? Oh, that's just the thinking. And then that one was wondering. So I'm just going to take these. Oh, whoops. I'm going to put them on the same side as they were before. And this one's going to be our ponder. Our thinking raised. Our gay surprise. Our teehee. Our thinking. Wondering. And then I'm going to take these ones out of the way. Put them like over here. Is that where they go? Yeah. Hold on, these researchers are getting in the way. You know when researchers just get in the way and you want to get rid of all the researchers? Me too. So actually, if I keep these away, then I can kind of see. Oh, I don't need these in there. Those are not mirrored. Those are symmetrical. So if I put these in, you can really see have taken these kind of directional things and I've just redrawn all of them facing the opposite direction. which is really nice. This can be really useful. It means I can put stuff on either side of my guy. What's next? Okay, we did those three. Idle face right. Well, should I redraw this one too? Make Rydal? Hmm. Yeah. This one might be the trickiest so far. And then stay up. I always go like way too far out this way when I make these. See? I'm already going like way too far out. But it's okay because it's an easy fix. And I want that to be like that. I want this to be a little straighter. Or do we? No, I don't think we do. Overlapping, it's a little too wide. You should definitely learn how to draw with vectors. It's like some of the most fun I've ever had drawing. It's also what I like normally do. And there's kind of this shape to this almost eye-like shape here. But on this time, I think we want to turn it so it's more like this, but we want to keep these parts down. So instead of turning it like that, I'm gonna manually do it like this. And then that's gonna stay the same, but the rest of it's gonna be turned. So we'll see if that works. And then make that like that. Oh, wow. Wow, would you look at how wonky that is? Turn this like that. Turn it. Turn that back. Looks like I'm looking straight on. Side. It's not wide enough. You know what it is? It's this part. It really shouldn't be like that. It should be like this, and then that should be like that. Probably. That's my guess. I do think that it's helping a little bit. But this one is the trickiest one so far, I think. Oh, wow. Okay. This needs to be up here. And that needs to go out like that. And that's already better. But this is to that. So we should make it smaller. Move it back. It looks wonky though. If we turn it this way, whoa. I think the problem is that this is a little too bold. Also, the position on the face is not great, but it itself looks really weird. Over here, it kind of fills out this area by coming like into over here, into this place. Like it's kind of going in there, but over here we don't really have anything similar. So if we take this and bring it in like that, and then make the face a little bit more like that, and kind of round it out a little bit, that's a little better, but this part is still a little too high. It's not fully rounding out the space we want it to. So if we make it kind of fill the space like this, that's already way better. Okay, yeah. And on its own, this looks kind of less bad. Yeah, okay. I'm happy with that. And then on this one, the shoulders are kind of down, so we'll go from a little bit in on this side, but not too in, because we kind of want the properties of each of the sides to like almost trade with each other. And then this is going to come in there and then go down. And then we're going to have one of these arms. This one's going to come out the same way it did over there. And then this one's going to come down the same way it did over there. And then this one's going to be like that. I'm probably going to end up changing that. This side's going to come kind of bumpy up here. Okay? And this is what happens when you combine left and right like that. It looks weird, so you have to futz with it. It's almost like this part's too out. So I can make it kind of come in a little. Oh god. Let's compare and contrast. Okay, that's pretty close. But this part should be coming in a little bit more. Up. What is wrong with this? Aha, okay. It's this. This sprite is a little taller than the other ones, but that doesn't mean we can just ignore it. It's still gotta look short, even though it looks a little taller than the other ones. And I think really the tie is gonna kind of tie it together. That is what ties do. Okay. Make the tie look nice, but not too boxy and squarey. It can be a little boxy, but not too boxy. And then coming out over here. Like that, yeah. See, this is really weird looking, I think. Is it? Everything's a little too forward in the opposite direction. Or maybe it's not forward enough. Maybe it really does need to just kind of be like this. Well, okay, the line going down is like that. So that is where these kind of middle features should be pointing. These two should be here. And the tie should come this way a little. And then this bit can point directly into it. It's more balanced, but I think my neck might be a little too long. So I'm going to bring the head down. And then also the face down, but I'll do it separately so it can be perfect. This side is too big and this side is too small, so I will change their sizes. I love doing this. This is one of my favorite activities. It's not super idle though, it's like kind of facing up almost. I wonder if I can fix that by just going like... No, I think I would also need to get the head in there, like the whole head. So I'll do that. Does that solve all our problems? Maybe this is the side that needs to come into. No, I was wrong. However, even though I look a little tiny bit more like a warrior going forth into battle, I do... these should come up. That really goes down. Let's make that go down too. Maybe this bump is a little too far out. Oh, that helped. You know, a lot of art is like staring at it, you know? Sometimes from a different angle. But yeah, I think we got Rydell down. I like Rydell. What's next? Self-gesture with other emotions. Okay, self-gesture is this one. But right now, the way we have it is it's very kind of happy looking. So like, it goes in the happy row. Or not the happy row, it goes in the quote-unquote normal one, which is happy. I have a separate happy category. It's complicated. The way I organize myself is very complicated. So if that's the happy one, then we need a version where I'm pissed off. And for that one, here, the way, like my chest is kind of out, it's kind of facing up this way, right? We don't want that. Because if you're angry, your chest is going to be facing that way. Unless I'm wrong, and if I just draw angry eyes. No, I'm getting cognitive dissonance here. I really do think the chest should change. Which means bringing this down. And these parts will also need to go down to kind of fit that downness. It does read more as boastful, and I don't think I ever want to sound boastful. I'm not a boastful person. At least I don't want to be. So I don't think there's any reason. I have the proud one. I have a proud one. It's like arms on hips, but like with a neutral face, and I think that that works pretty well for like anything boastful I want to do. So this is kind of pointing up. This is too pointy and not and too like to the side. Now we're getting somewhere. Now the chest is facing down a little bit and forward. So if we add the angry eyes back, yo, yo, those little tiny changes really, really did something. Should I fuss with it more? Yeah, I should. Of course I should. And then for the kind of like like one eyebrow raised expression, um, for these, like the back kind of hunches over, like this, like going down like that. Like that's the directionality we want for the back. Maybe even more like that. And this back doesn't really scream hunched, so it's maybe because of how long these are. So I think for starters, we can kind of bring this up. And then to make it shorter, we can just shorten these. And then get that in there. Now, you see, when I look at that one, I see something that I could use like a lot, like when I'm confused or like annoyed, but in a confused way. Like, why the hell would anybody do something this bad? Like that kind of vibe, you know? So, raised eyebrow, self gesture, angry self gesture. And honestly, this one can kind of go here. And then over here we can make the happy one happy happy. And then this one we can make it. This means that my self gesture, all of my self gesture guys will be changed forever because none of them will look like the original one. But I think that's okay. I think that that fits. Oh, that looks awful. Okay. Eyebrows are a little too high. Eyebrows are still a little too high. That is acceptable. Okay, great. Wait, I just did that. Huh. Okay, cool. So nerd glasses is going to be really easy. I just need to take my sunglasses and make them not like that. This one might be the easiest one I can ever. And then make these curved a little bit, and then that makes me look a little nerdier if they're curved. Mm, it also makes me look a little angry though. So maybe that's not the solution. Maybe this is the solution. Maybe not. And then we're going to make these more squarey. And then that. Does that make me look like a nerd? I think honestly, if this stuff is not out in the open, if this is kind of covered up and it goes under the hood, that makes me look less like a nerd. Because with the sunglasses, more like a nerd. Because with the sunglasses, I put them over, just like they're kind of there on top. But for the nerd thing, they got to be under. And also, I do think that this would benefit from this window thing being more symmetric. And then in order to make this work, I would need to futz with this. Because this is based off of the idle one. Hmm. Hmm. Little tiny changes. Little itty bitty changes. To make the glasses really look like they're glasses, you know? What are people saying? To me, it looks more like protection goggles. That's a really good point. Perhaps something that we can do to help with that would be to draw them from scratch. Great idea. But let's draw them over these. And then I'm gonna make them, I still want to make them kind of square, like this. But I am going to make the individual squares their own shapes, actually. So we're gonna have like that, that, and that. And then we're gonna have another one. And I kind of like the lopsided sizes because it gives it more depth. But I don't like it that much, so I'm gonna do this. And then get rid of this. Fiddle around with the exact positioning of the glasses. I mean, obviously, this should go in, right? Otherwise, it looks like I'm crossing my eyes. And then if I want the glasses to be really nerdy, I could do like that. Or does that make them look cooler? I think it makes them look a little cooler, but I think these should be up a little. You know, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm pretty happy with this. Nerd. Monosyllabic synthetic musical tokipono that's so confusing it gets rejected from a conlang relay for being too confusing. Oh. What's next? Okay, so these two with all emotions. So now what we're doing is we're doing another kind of axis of possibility, you know? Like over here, our axis is kind of down the middle and we have like left and right. But over here our axis is from top to bottom and it means it's whether or not I'm researching. So just for ease, let's bring these up to the top. That way I can have my research like this. One, two, three. And we need a fourth one because the base research doesn't actually have any facial expressions. It's like if this one didn't have that extra eyebrow, like that, which I don't have anything like that because the eyebrow is like kind of, you know? But over here, we have neutral, and then the next one I think would be like raised eyebrow like this, right? And then the next one is happy. So we'll make him happy. And then the next one is angry. This is me when I'm angry at one piece of paper. And then we need the same thing for these three. So the raised one is actually, it's The base one is raised originally, but we're going to be making all four versions. So this one's going to be base, and this needs to get smoothed out now. Like that, mayhaps. And then this one's happy. So actually, let's take this and bring it down here and replace it. This is when I'm happy with two pieces of paper. And then this one, we'll keep it like that and we'll make it angry. This is when I'm angry at two pieces of paper. Oh my god, that's a really good idea. Making a font. It's also a lot of work. Okay, so the next thing I have to do is I need to take this and make a version where the other hand is up. So like a this version of research. And I'm gonna do that after I'm back from my bathroom break. I need to use the bathroom, so I'll be back in like 4 minutes. But I will be in chat on my phone, I guess. All right. Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Remember me to the one who lives there. She once was a true love of mine. The difference in aspiration between time and time is not something that you can really like hear. It's like something that linguists have measured and found that like they're significantly different. But it's slight enough that people can't really hear the difference in their own speech, especially when you're trying to produce a sound. You know what the phonemes are, so you're going to be pronouncing them more like phonemes and less like you would in natural speech. So what was next? Okay. So what we want is a cross between these two. Ooh, that's a really good question with hard of hearing English speakers. I think it would remain true because the main difference is like the word time is less common than the word time, right? So that's the theory behind why time is pronounced with a longer aspiration period. So I think that like when deaf people pronounce words, their perceptions of the words meaning can still influence how they pronounce the words in their mouths. Um, right? It just they it just they don't hear speech the same way, not as much. And this is more about like production than hearing. But I do think that maybe hard of hearing people would struggle more to hear the difference between time and time based on level of aspiration, which is something that maybe other English speakers are able to do. It's like such a marginal thing. It's like that's like the one example I know of where that's the case. It is not a phonemic difference. It's like a semantic difference that has found its way into the phonetics. Okay, I have a crazy idea. What if we just Frankenstein these together? Let's take this body, wonderful, and let's take this arm holding this piece of paper and this head. I swear, if this just works seamlessly, okay, not seamlessly per se, but I'm surprised. I did it. I did. I think I do want to futz with the head a little bit. Uh, I do like that it's more that way, but I do want this to be a little lower down. I think this staying up there is a good, like that. Wow. Huh. Y'all see that? Yeah, okay. I just did that. That was easy schmeezy. And now all we gotta do is give these ones more motions. Because the more motions, the better. That's what I always say. More motions is always better. Okay, actually, I changed my mind. I don't want I don't think I want the hand to be exactly the same either. Because when I switch between the two, I want there to be like a visual change. Good thing it's really easy to just kind of alter the shape of the arm. Like this. And then the piece of paper, why don't we turn it? Ah, like that. Okay, much happier with it. I still want to make the shape of the head different. That can go down there. And then that can go down there. And then this part can come out just a little bit. And then this part can come down just a little bit. And I can come over there. Does it look like shit now? No. But I do want this to be curved instead. Maybe not that much. Maybe like a little curve like that. And a little more forward. And then this can be a little bit more out to kind of give it more space. And then this can be a little bit more up. And then I think I would want to turn this a little. Like that. It's a little squashed. I can fix that by moving this up. And then giving more emotions. Okay. Bring the reel down. Yeah. And then for angry, easy peasy to make something look angry. Just draw little angry eyebrows. So now what I can do is I can use these in conjunct with a bunch of the other ones, including these. Um, And then, when I'm holding the paper up like this, when I put my hand down to my side, I look like this, right? So I can use these with these to make me kind of waving around a piece of paper for a while if I'm like talking about research without just being limited to these research poses, which I like these ones. I don't think I'm gonna make more different versions of these ones. If I need to be like, oh yeah, also I made the thumbnail in here in this file. I don't need this for the time being. Bagpipe with kilt. Okay. I think I have worn a kilt enough to be able to just kind of eyeball this. So that we have normal bagpipes, and then we're going to have bagpipes with kilt. So I'm going to, let's see. Kilts comes out over here. Yes, this kilt pose needs a sporin, absolutely. Which is why I'm going to add one immediately. So the sporin has two main functions. The first one is to it's kind of like a little purse, like you put stuff inside of it. I've stored really important things like my phone and my wallet and drugs in my sporin before. Legal drugs, of course, like my medication and legal recreational drugs. And then the other thing is that when you sit down, it keeps the skirt down so that you can spread your legs apart. And because I'm Jewish, I think it would be awesome if my sporn had a Star of David here. So we're gonna add one. Oh, that's not necessarily very readable. We'll just make this part bigger. Yeah, okay. Good morning, Bread Bun Bun. Okay, Star of David on my sporin. The next thing is that you kind of have these two, like these overlapping big panels, like over here, of fabric. Then everything else is ruffles. So it's kind of like this, I want to say. Yeah, it is. It is like that. Huh, I'm killing it. If it did, they never told me, so I also do think that this fits better if it's farther down, so I'm more futzing. I think if a Scottish person got mad at me for putting a Star of David on a sporran, that would be anti-Semitic of them. I am an honorary member of a Scottish clan. I can do whatever I want. I'm like basically Scottish. And I literally play bagpipes. Like most Scottish people don't play bagpipes. I literally play bagpipes. I play this instrument. Let's give it more details. Just off the top of my head, some details about this instrument that I know because I play it, because I know how to play it. Oh yeah, these have to go all the way up to the top. Does that read? I think that would. Oh, it's a little too far over. So we'll move this one over and then we'll move the rest of them over to kind of follow suit, you know? And then we can get rid of one of them. Lipamanka bagpipe EP when? Well, Lipamanka secret, okay? I'm not actually that good at the bagpipes. So it might be a hot sec. But it'll be fun. And then I guess I'm gonna add some gray lines here, which I don't use gray that often in these, but I'm gonna do it to kind of show a pattern on the kilt. I really should have had this one in time for the video where I said, I'll eat my kilt. Because when I had a picture of me playing the bagpipes in that one, I wasn't wearing a kilt. Oh no. Oh wait, I forgot about the whole thing where, like, dimension exists. And everything's not flat. And lines have to be dynamic, and there's foreshortening and shit. Put these under there, and... ta-da! Lipamaka wearing a kilt with a sporran. Add some gray over here. The sporran looks wrong. Even though that's like where it would be and how it would look. It's not 3D enough. You know what? I don't think it needs to be. I think this is fine. I I do think that this actual skirt starts up higher, so I'll make this line kind of go like that. And same with this one. Actually, I'll even go so far as to make this line go up like that so that it goes under the arm and gives the illusion that the kilt goes up farther up the arm, up behind the arm. And on this side, I'll make it go under the bagpipe, like over here. Oh, that really genuinely helped. Okay. Nice. I don't think English is racist, a racist concept, though I don't know the community well enough to know if it's racist. I think it's not inherently racist, but some people accidentally end up talking about it racistly. I do think that there are many people in the English community who are racist, but I do not think English itself is a racist concept. That's my Lipamankat take. Yay, I did it. Me wearing a kilt. Okay, what's next? Hands on face, surprised. So the question is, do I grab a reference for this? Because most of these I drew before I went off of my SSRI medication. My SSRI medication made my ability to internally visualize like way worse. So now I feel like my art ability is way higher, but I also don't know if that means I don't need a reference anymore or not. So I should probably try without a reference. Hands on face, surprised. I think we should use ponder, I guess, as like something to just have next to. It's not necessarily a reference because I made it, but I think the first thing is we want it to be centered, right? Okay, that's so centered. Do you see how centered that is? I'm kidding, obviously. It's so uncentered. That's centered. Is it too small? Yes, it is. Let's make it requisite size. Mm. And then the middle parts are too close together, so let's move them apart from each other. Now we have the shoulders. And because they're both going to be like this shoulder, let's get the other surprise, the other ponder on the other side. Because this is kind of a mixture of these two, right? Maybe we want the other sides? So more like this. Sans underwear style. You just wear underwear. I don't know anyone who plays bagpipes and doesn't wear underwear, and I'm in like a very large pipe band. So wear a kilt and do wear underwear. Okay, so this is kind of straight, like most other people in my family. Okay, and then on the other side, it's also going to be kind of straight. Also going to be... Now the problem here is that these two, the one on the left and the right, I've kind of like made this curve based on the assumption that they're facing this way, right? But this one's facing straight ahead at the viewer. So in order to have both arms up, these would have to be way farther out. So something like this actually would be much better suited, I think. And then we come down, we get the elbow, and then we come up, hand on the face. And it's got to be more directional. So then this guy needs to come over here this way. And like that. And if the other one also needs to do that, then we don't need these loopies. elbow, up, back down, under. Okay, that's way too sharp. Now the question is, if I was doing this, my shoulders would probably be up a little bit, right? So I should make these curve up. And then I kind of want to bring the entire arm up more. But that would entail first making the shoulders, the bottom of the shoulders come up as well, so that the top of the arm can come up, so that the bottom of the arm can come up. I like where the top of the arms are, so I'll keep that. But also this can go there. I don't really like where the bottom of the arms are, and I don't really like how long the arms seem. So we can just take this, do a little magic trick. Are you kidding me? Okay, there we go. Magic trick. Okay. I want these to be more curved. I think I actually want the head to be down a little bit. Because the shoulders are up, right? So the head should be down. And next, we're going to do the head like this. Like the head of my head. And it'll be like that. Oh my god. The head's too in it, I think. I think the head needs to be farther down. Okay, now I feel like the head should be more up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this part and move this down. But in order to do that, I would like to give these sides kind of more room. So I'll do that. I'll give them more room on the sides. And then, because it's a face of astonishment, you got to do that. The funny thing with this one is that I don't really know what to do in the middle because both of these flaps are going to come down and kind of sort of like meet. You know? They're going to be like that. But I don't really have enough room to show that. Unless I do it kind of like this, assuming that this is coming down like this, which it probably is behind the scenes, so we can get this curve working. What the hell? Okay, that works. And too long. Potentially just right. I'm so glad I went off my SSRIs. Look at this. I don't think I would have been able to do this on my SSRIs. Now, that doesn't mean y'all should go off your SSRIs if you're on any, but it was the right choice for me, for sure. Oh, yeah, and the tie. Now, does that read? I think it does. Okay. And then I think the eyebrows actually do kind of change the expression. So let's see what we can do with that. And then one without the eyebrows. Do like that. With eyebrows, I think this one's like fangirl. Okay, so the thing with shock, right, is that shock really like pulls you back this way. No? Which almost hunches the shoulders over, not up necessarily. Which I could change that honestly by changing the orientation of the face. I could bring that down and bring it a little, honestly, just down. Because what I'm experiencing here is supposed to be shock, not fangirling. Honestly, it could be comical. It could be even more comical, I think. Like like this for shock. Because shock makes you scared. No? So I should be hiding behind my hands. Ah, this is too going out. I think it needs to be more going in. Emitters coming directly out of the top of the hood. Like that. Maybe I should look at some references. Wow, I have 14 people watching? Oh my god, okay. Um, shock. So shock, hands on the face, versus shock, hands on the head. Is this what I wanted to do originally? You know, I think it might be. So I have a fangirl one now, and now I'm going to make an actual shocked one. And I am going to use a reference. Whoa, that was very loud, the screenshot sound. I don't know if you could hear it. Purring would probably be a type of moo. Wait. No, I already have one of these. I'm not sure where it is, but I do have one. It's not, it might not be on this document, but I have one where I'm in shock, I guess. So actually, let's do this one like this. So we have fangirl and shock. Nice. Okay, what's next? Right, grabbing microphone angrily. Okay. Podcaster with podcaster grabbing microphone stand. God, it's gonna be really hard to find references for this. I mean, I literally have a microphone stand right here and my own body. So I think I could do it. I think I can do it. So let's start with the mic stand, right? Uh, it's gonna go up. Well, it's got to be sized correctly. So let's I don't know, take me talking like this and then draw myself a microphone stand to be right next to me. So it's gonna the microphone, one sec. I'm gonna move my I f- it's not called a pop socket. The thing that stops the aspiration. I'm gonna move it so the way you hear me might change. It might not. I'm not sure. But it's out of the way. So if I go pa pa pa, that might be worse than if it was there before. Um, so now I'm going to draw from life the microphone that I have right here, which is about the size of my head. So start with that. It's not the size of my head. It's like, okay, it's half the size of my head. But my head's this big. That's how big my head is. So we also wanted to read, so we might have to make my microphone a little comically large. Okay. Okay. Not quite round enough. Oh. And my microphone kind of has these grooves in it, like like this, I want to say. The reason why I'm making this pose is because I accidentally clipped my mic a few times while yelling in my upcoming video, or one of my upcoming videos. I'm not sure what order I'm gonna do them in, um, or at least what order I'm gonna post them in. So I want it to be like I'm grabbing my microphone and yelling too loud into it. Hold on, what keyboard do I have on? Okay. Okay. And then I think I do want to make kind of the inside of these gray. Wait, I don't know why I did that. I could just do this. And this one, it's not gonna have a stroke paint, but it's gonna have a normal one, and it's gonna be gray. And we're going to make that go down underneath everything. And then just to get our line back. My microphone at the bottom actually goes like in a little. So we're going to do that too. I want this to be accurate to what my microphone looks like. God, stop it. That's the thing with this thing over here. This toggle snapping onto/off of. It's really annoying. Oh, I'm just now realizing that this also needs to be gray because the microphone, you can also see it at the top. The next thing about this microphone is that it has a big circly thing around it. I'm good at big circly things, especially when I'm drawing from life. And then over here, it's also going to go around like that. In very fashion. And where does it go, like, vertical-wise? It goes there. Now the next thing is it has like lots of like wires that go like up and down, like holding it in place kind of. I don't want to draw all of them. So I might do like that. Maybe I'll make these gray though. Does that read? You know what? I'm going to break a law that I have not broken yet, and I'm going to make them thinner. Because I do think that it works. Because this is a microphone. And the fun thing with this is that actually, these are a little lower. And they're like connected by these vertical bits. What? No. No, black. Okay. Like that. And they're also, these also extend up to the top. Like up above. And there are also wires over here that connect like this. Right? But now I'm kind of thinking I need to go thinner with these lines. So let's go thinner with these lines so everyone can see all the details of my microphone. Now, a question you might be having, isn't this a little bit obsessive? And the answer is yeah. That's okay. I can obsessively vectorize my microphone if I want to. This would go down like that, though. Would it? Or would it go down like that? I can look. I have it right here. Oh, okay. I see what the problem is. This is a little too high. And this the whole little kind of spider microphone thing that I have going on, I think, including this ring, could go down, and it would actually help. And then I could also make this smaller. Not that much smaller. That much smaller, yeah, okay. Now it's actually becoming clear. I need to move this to the side a little bit, okay. And another thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take all these, I'm going to break them. And I'm going to make all the lines on the inside white. Oh, that didn't work. Okay. No, does it not let me ungroup them? Hmm. This could also be a bit higher. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get this part on the inside to be white. And it doesn't look like it's letting me do that. So I will just delete it all and redo it, but this time white. And also this part. Wow, I'm getting really obsessed over this being correct. But it'll be so worth it. Okay, white. And then a line like that much maybe. And this one's thinner than the other one. And then like that. Which goes to the bottom. And like that. Which also goes to the bottom. And then we're going to make this black, like as the background. Aha! Okay, now I'm getting another problem. That other problem being, I want this white to continue on top of this stroke. So we'll do that. The problem is that all of these are rounded on the edges. But low-key, I don't think it's that big of an issue. Look at that. Look, it's my microphone. It's my microphone that I have. I think with the stand, it'll look a lot more like a microphone. So there's going to be a cable coming out at the bottom. Cable's going to come out like that much and then kind of curve in. And then there's going to be a line coming out of it. And then this line is going to be just like my other lines. So not like that. It's going to be like that. Uh, well, okay, it's supposed to be thinner than that, so I'll make it a little thinner. Okay, great. So we have that. Let's get rid of some of these. Let's get rid of all. Let's get rid of most of them and just keep one going down. Then if I want to ever expand on that, I can. And then we need the next part of the mic stand, which is this bit. It kind of comes out and up. And then that's connected to a triangle. The triangle looks like this. And then coming out of the triangle are two big lines. There's this one that goes straight up, and then there's another one coming out from right here that also goes straight up but stops around here. And that is connected to a very weird shape that looks like this. That's what that shape looks like. And we're going to futz with it, obviously. And then coming out of here are two more lines, and they look like this. Ends up maybe like that. And that. And these are connected to a interesting triangle kind of thing that goes like this, but then psych, it goes up here like that. And then this is where the springs come in. So there's springs that attach this to over here, and there's another side too on the other end that also has springs coming out of it. And the question is this too complicated? Does it read? Am I overcomplicating it? And the answer, I think, is because I changed the line width. No, I think I'm just going to have a super realistic looking microphone. And then over here at the top, there is one of these and another set of springs that end up over here at the bottom. Now that I'm looking at it, I'm realizing that this whole thing is too small. So we're going to make it bigger. Because this is vector graphics and we can do that very easily. The next question is, which of these lines should I make bigger? And also, I should make these, this one isn't a question, but I should make these filled in. And then I'm actually going to add a white line right here. No fill, white. And then I'm going to make this one go under and fill it in with black. Next, I'm going to add screws. which I'm going to do by holding Control and then clicking with this version of the Bezier tool, which doesn't let you drag or anything. It's just only lines, but it lets you make this dot. And then we're going to make these smaller and put some white screws on the mic stand. And we're also going to put them up here. This one's a bit out. There's one here. These aren't big enough. I do think the stroke for these shapes should be 4. Well, 4.48, because that's what it was when I started making these, and that's what it shall be forever. And low-key, I think this one's up a little. That actually really helps. And one of these up here, and then one down here, one over here, and one back here. This mic stand's really coming together. And then there's one at each end of this. Huh. Wow. Would you look at that? I'm gonna make it bigger. Wow. This is just Inkscape. It's free. I think my version is like 4 years old. I don't update it because I'm scared. Hmm. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to draw myself grabbing microphone and speaking directly into it. So for that, what I can do is I can put this right here. Okay, you know what? I'm going to draw a new version of my guy. So my face is going to have to be right here. Let's keep this one nearby. Can I get the face right first try this time? Wow. I love vector graphics. And because I'm facing that way, this one's going to be bigger. But is it going to be too big? And I think I know why it's been too big. It's because I always forget to add that one. That's pretty good. I mean, like, this needs to be more over there, and then low-key all of this needs to be more back. And then this needs to be way more up. Maybe not that back. And then this needs to be more up. Well, it's got to be steeper. And then this can be down. Okay, no, wow, okay. Wow. So you gotta have me right there. And then this is gonna kind of come out and go around and in like that one. But my arm isn't all the way out here. It's more in. So actually, it's going to be more like this. Now this is going to be really difficult, but I believe in myself. Okay, well I want the arm to come from farther down, so... Or do I? This looks like jank. If I'm grabbing with my right arm, which is what I'm drawing, then this is actually going to be higher. Grabbing something close to my face, this is actually going to cross over, like, almost on top of. So this we're going to have to redraw completely. We're going to have to draw the arm coming like this, right? And then coming under like that, almost. It's like directly under. Like this. Almost. Yes? But the part on the inside, hold on. Which one's over which? Like, my question is, do I want that or do I want this? Oh, I answered my question. I want that. But I want it to be curved in a little, I think. And first of all, I spent so much time on this microphone. Let's just save it over here. But this part down here, I don't want it. I want it to be in the hand. And therefore, I also don't want this. And then this Y that's coming out of the bottom can go like that. Now, do I want this to be curved like that, or do I want it to be like a softer curve like this? That could come out more. And then let's draw the face. Too small, we'll just make it bigger. Wow, no, that's not what I want. I want this up. And then I want that in there. This, I want out more, but more like that. And I want this whole thing more like that. And then that can go more up. And then this top, can be more, a little bit more. Oh God. Well, this can come down there, and then around like that. Because we're facing this way, this part over here is going to take up more space than this part, I believe. I think that's how it works. Yeah, because this part's, the foreshortening would make this part drawn out a little. So it's okay that this part is kind of small. We'll just have this like that. And then of course we need the little tie. And that looks fine. I don't know, my arm looks like way too small. I think one way we can fix that is by doing like making this go in and then it's like more foreshortened. Like that, make that come out. Or we can just not worry about it and get rid of that. Okay, but now it looks like my arm is growing out of my side. Which ideally it's not. I just want to like have an arm, you know? So like I guess what we want is we want it to kind of we want to I mean we won't be able to, but we want to be able to see like the arm kind of behind it. Because this is the forearm, we would need like the bicep area. And the bicep area is going to be like behind it like this kind of. But we can't show that very easily. We can if we raise this more. And then make this come out. And then maybe like that. And then maybe what we don't want is this. And we can make that look like that, but then the arm itself can come in. Oh, and then we want the elbow to actually be out here in the front. I don't know. Maybe there's someone in chat who knows way more about anatomy than I do and like what should be in front of where at what points. But I think this is decent. Oh, you know what? This actually needs to come more in like this. But then that sounds, looks like I'm a bug. Almost. Not quite. You know what? Make this go into a computer somewhere, perhaps. And add motion lines. And then make a version without motion lines so that if I need to hold this position for long enough, I can like take away the motion after a little while. And there we go. I think I'm almost done with my to-do list. So we do need 2 of each. One with the microphone move, one without. And these are the neutral ones for when I want people to know that I don't care about something. I guess. And these ones are going to be the happy ones. And these ones are going to be the angry ones. Okay. So let's make the angry one angry. Let's make the happy one happy, which includes moving this up, I think. What the hell? Oops. How long have I been streaming for? 2.5 hours sounds about right. Okay. Huh. Okay. You've been replaced. Hoo-ha-ha! My face just melted. I guess for this we can turn this way a little. And that one should be in more. Put more that way. And then that one we can turn this like that. And that's pretty good. And let's replace this one entirely as well. Oh no, I didn't copy the whole thing. Now I did. Position perfectly. And you know what? I'm realizing now that I actually want a version where I'm talking into the microphone with my other hand up. So I'm going to do it. Well, I mean, like, I don't have to. I can do whatever I want, and I don't have to do anything. Hmm. Well, I'm pretty happy with what I've done today already, and I definitely did everything on my list. Hmm. I need a version of EPAF without the Z's, called No Sleep. Wait, where's the pointing down one? Oh, it's over here. Do I want more of these? Nah, not really. Those were fun. Maybe I'm done. Oh, I do gotta name these. So I'm gonna do M microphone for motion microphone, and then just microphone for normal. And then each of these is gonna have an emotion. Yeah, okay. And then actually, just to make sure that like when I render these images, they're not overlapping at all, I am gonna move a bunch of these kind of out of the way. So that I have ample room to render the images without them overlapping, and then I have part of one image and another image, and that's the whole thing. And that's always annoying. And the only way to fix it is to render a new image, so I might as well do it right the first time. Okay. I feel very confident with what I've done today, and I think I had a lot of fun streaming, so I'm gonna end the stream. Goodbye, everybody. Discord server, Patreon, etc. Goodbye.